Right, lads, Danny here from Hearts and Minds TV. I've got a good friend of mine, a talented barber, super great guy, Anthony Duong, from Sonder. And we're going to just have a chat about life, because even though we're in the barbering industry, we are actually doing life together, man. So, Anthony, who are you? What are you about? And talk to me.
Anthony, I've been in the industry for 5 years.
Yeah.
I am a salon manager for Sonder Men's, and I do a bit of education with them as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So, I've known you for a while. I've been following you for a while on social media, and that's how that's probably how we got connected as well, because through education and socials. Talk to me. We just want to highlight the importance or the positives and the disadvantages of social media. How have you been finding? Because I know actually from following you in the early days, it was quite like funny, and quite skitsy and things like that. And I know you've I haven't seen much of that. It's definitely, with working with the Sonder lads, you're definitely a lot more kind of professional. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah,
and obviously,
that's
you're
very fair.
moving into the education side of things. How are you finding social media as for yourself at the moment?
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned, because I do remember starting off kind of just after my apprenticeship and putting myself out there a lot more. It was just more to do with engaging with my friends and my followers and letting them know like what I'm up to.
Yeah.
So it was a lot more skits, funny videos, what I thought, like pranks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But more recently, it's just so much more thought that you have to put into what kind of content that you're creating.
Is that how you
That's how
do
I feel.
that? Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's more these days. You've just got to, I think, be a lot more intentional,
Structured.
with the kind of content that you're composing, because then you have to think about the demographic that you're attracting. If you're more focused on building a personal brand, attracting clients, or if you're just trying to get as much engagement as possible, it's a lot more tunnel visioned in what you have to create, I'd say.
Okay, so talk me through it. We can get into the tips and tricks, but like talk to me about that. What your thought process is, and I guess what you're trying to maybe do with your own personal brand.
As you say, I go through phases. So there'll be points where I'm focusing a bit more on client acquisition, do a bit more educational videos, consultations, and stuff that people, just a regular customer, would like to see. And then once I'm out of that phase, I go into a bit more education, maybe gaining customers for our educational classes. And if I'm not doing either of those two, then it would just be like a lifestyle thing, showing people what I do in my life, showing people shop life versus what we do outside of the salon.
I resonate to that. I think we can get quite heavy on social media, as in like being professional, being silly. I think that's your lads, actually. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is the Sonder boys. I'm assuming it was like a chin-up comp going on. But anyway, bringing it back, shut up. So, in terms of yourself, like, not everyone is like that. Not everyone is. I think a great thing that you mentioned was showing the personal side of things. I think that is definitely something I would show probably more of these days. Behind the scenes stuff. What's your thoughts as a whole of what you're seeing with the industry, particularly with? Are you talking Instagram? Are you talking TikTok? What are you on?
I mainly use Instagram.
Instagram. I do normally use Instagram. But we can't like shy away from the fact that TikTok is a massive deal right now, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't cracked it. I don't know about the TikTok too much, but what's your opinion on it, and how do you structure your things to be able to target views, people? Any tips on that?
I honestly haven't cracked TikTok either. It becomes a game of like balancing how much time you want to invest in doing both parts, because I tried to post the same things on Instagram as TikTok, and just upload the same things, and it's just I don't get the reception. I don't get I'm
the same,
like the algorithm. So I feel like there's a different kind of way you have to approach TikTok. And I remember Josh OP yesterday. He was just talking how these apps want you to use them and edit internally. So if you're uploading a full clip from your camera roll into the app, without touching it and then uploading it for people to see. I think there's an algorithm there that has to be mentioned where they're like, okay, this guy hasn't even edited in our app,
Yeah.
so it might not crack the surface of.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I was interested to learn that because I didn't even think about that. So he says he leaves a bit of room to crop his videos within the app, whether it be within Instagram or within TikTok,
Yeah.
and then it recognizes it as, okay, this guy has edited
Yeah. Yeah.
his stuff
Okay.
in our app.
That's
We
interesting.
might boost a little bit more, which is interesting because you got to play the game.
Yeah.
It's all these little things that you have to pick up, and no one really teaches us, really.
Okay. Well, let's look at it from a different point of view, from above looking
Yeah.
down on social media.
Yeah.
Social media is obviously a massive part of our industry, and with the TikTok, with the Instagram, what do you think, man? Do you think it's full of shit, like, or is it like, or is it actual meaning to it? Like, do we have to do it to get results? Because I see a lot of people, personally, with hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah.
But is every follower, are they going to be a client in my chair? Or are they going to come to my education? Or is it just building false ego? Maybe particularly, I'm talking more about the younger generation. Like, are they being built up on something there's no kind of substance
Yeah.
to it?
Yeah.
And because I get worried about it, and I think, like, are they setting themselves up for a fall or
Yeah.
what? Like,
I agree. I completely agree because I see the same kind of trends happening. We see an influx of young barbers entering our industry,
Yeah.
and all they want to do is like be that TikTok barber, that Instagram barber. They're copying kind of videos that they see that get millions of views, and they're trying to do it themselves, but it comes off as like inauthentic. It comes off like, oh, they're just following a trend.
yeah,
And I definitely think that there's going to be a time where the trends fall off, then they have nothing else to fall back on.
yeah,
It's what do we do now? Well,
Yeah.
it's just copying what I saw online.
yeah,
So there's something to say about that. I feel like it's great to see a lot of people entering the industry, but it's for the wrong reasons. You know,
Yeah.
you make content that copies all these trends just so you get a bit of validation.
It's
a bit
not
of
creative then if you're copying everyone.
not really, no. And you watch the videos and you're like, it's just another copycat.
It's such a big subject at the moment because
Yeah.
I've noticed even here there's so many young guys getting into the industry, and I judged the other night. There was 2 apprentice Orions. Like, there were so many apprentices, all 14, 15, 16-year-olds. They're all some of them on stage cutting.
Yeah.
That's pretty ballsy, man.
How'd they go? Your 2 apprentices, how'd they go?
Oh no, sorry, not my. There was two. What I mean was there was 2 competitions of just the apprentice rounds.
Oh, 2 rounds.
So I'm
2
talking
rounds.
numbers.
Yeah, okay.
There was so
yeah.
many. That's a lot of
That's
lot of
heaps.
numbers.
That's
Like
a
normally
lot.
there's like maybe 10 apprentices. There was like, I don't know, like 50 apprentices. Man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So I see in one side, and I don't want to sound like the old fogey bloke, but it's like there's a trend. There's something happening in our industry, and it's either going to be positive and blow it up, or it could potentially have, and if we don't move with it, it could be detrimental to us, or it's just going to fall flat on its feet, and there's going to be no one potentially underneath us to
Yeah.
come up.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, man?
It's a
Do you
scary
have an
thought.
opinion on that? Like,
Yeah, I feel like at the moment there's a split, there's a dichotomy in our industry.
Yeah.
You know, you have these TikTok barbers, we can categorize them in these younger barbers that just like to do certain types of haircuts, certain types of designs, whatever. I feel like they categorize themselves into one side of the industry.
Yeah.
And then there's another side of the industry that is kind of more precision haircutting and more like team-based, salon-based.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the moment we're pulling away from each other instead of kind of collaborating and keeping the industry up as one.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
in my experience, I've tried to have conversations with people about joining our team and stuff, and so many more people just opt into, no, I want to do my own thing.
yeah.
I want to run my own business, like just a one-man team.
What do you think about that?
I think it's
We can censor if you want to swear in this. I'm joking. But like, nothing will be filtered.
Yeah.
What do you think of that whole working from home, or working with a brand, like get yourself working with a good brand? Like,
Yeah.
I've seen you join Sonder, good leaders, good brands, good education, and you grow as a human
yeah,
into
for
a
sure.
better barber and a fella. there's no mentorship, if they're just working on their own,
I think it's very limited. I think it's
limited. Yeah.
I think you're capped. You know, in a financial sense, you've got to be the one to make your own money.
Yeah.
There's no team to rely on. There's no collaboration.
Is it ego? Like
I don't want to.
not going into a team.
I don't want to say because they're very successful in their own. But it's interesting. I'm torn because I've been on that route. Like I've done stuff on my own in the garage, and I like running my own business, a bit more intimate. But at the same time, like moving into a team, I enjoy the accountability of being people that always strive to be better.
Yeah,
Being
working.
around that. Yeah.
Sharpens iron, type of thing.
Yeah,
I always think to myself, like, if you're in a studio, this is just a suggestion of a conversation. Like, if you're in a studio and you're booked out, right? What's next?
Yeah.
Like, what is next for you?
You raise your prices, you get booked out again.
Yeah, and then what?
And then what?
Are you just going to continue to raise your prices, or are you going to get to a certain level where you're like a grown man now?
Yeah.
Like, are you working from home, or are you going to go and open a shop?
Exactly.
And if you are going to open a shop, longevity ways, at some stage, are you going to hire someone, or are you not going to hire someone and just do this for the next 30, 40 years? Because then that's just creating a job. Like.
Yeah. I think there's a trend in what I see, like people trying to be. I'll name drop for example, like HH Barbers. He was, a result of this barbering blueprint that blew up.
Yeah.
Studio barber makes X amount a month, and he's gone. And what I've seen happen is he created his own mentorship.
Yeah.
Then he has other studio barbers underneath teaching them how to get to the same level. But what if you can't get to the same level? Then you're just stuck. You're kind of like on a race to the edge of a hill.
Yeah.
It's like this guy's built a mentorship after being booked out, raising his prices, Now he's teaching other people how to do it. What if you can't get to the point where you teach other people how to do it? Then you're just, what's your out of this behind the chair situation? What's the strategy?
Well, that's a question that they're all gonna have to come to, man. I don't know,
I think on the other end of the spectrum, being in a team where you can grow, you're pushed by the people around you into leadership positions. You're going into like management. You're going into partnership.
Yeah.
There's points.
Pathways.
There's pathways where you are allowing yourself to. Okay, I've gotten to this point. I can step away from the chair. Instead of cutting hair all the time, I'm building a business, and I'm building another business. Or I've gotten to a point where I don't have to be paid for what I do. I get paid for what I know.
Yeah.
I get paid for being who I am, like going into education or being an ambassador, or being a representative.
Yeah.
There's so many more options with being a part of like a strong team, a strong brand.
I agree with that, man.
Yeah.
Personally, I agree with that, bro.
Yeah.
All right, let's lighten it up before someone gets banged out. What is on the cards? What's happening in the life for you, bro? How are you?
For me, I'm well. I'm very
good?
well. Yeah, being at a event like this, it recharges you, I think.
Yeah.
You get inspired, you reconnect with people that you don't see on the daily.
Yeah.
You catch up with them and you're like, I go back to work.
What are we going to see from you more of this year?
More of this year, I definitely want to keep myself accountable on the social media. Sometimes I feel like I phase out of it. There'll be months where I don't post.
Yeah. What are we going to see from you?
A couple more education videos, a little bit more showing my lifestyle, my vlogs, what I do outside of the salon, and maybe a bit more insight on like what's happening behind the scenes in the company. I feel like there's so many things we do as a business that people don't get to see.
Yeah.
That's why we try to vlog a little bit, and there's so much work that goes unnoticed. When it reaches the customer, at the end of the day, their experience is just coming in for a haircut, but there's so many other things that we put in to play that they don't even get to see. So I think like being transparent about business and our experiences, like all the successes, all the failures, it's very important to show. And that's something that I don't want to be scared.
I thought it was easy, bro. I only see easy stuff on socials. You just make it look easy.
It's not that easy, I'll tell you that. But that's the thing about business. It's you can't enjoy the successes without going through the failures.
Right, I love where your head's at, man. I love what you're evolving into, bro. It's really really good to see, man. How old are you now?
I'm 26.
26.
Yeah. My bosses are 28, 30.
Yeah.
So I love being a part of, like, just having these mentors and have surrounded myself with people that aren't even that further away from me in age, but they've accomplished so much.
Yeah.
So just having those people, like getting in the room with everyone that I look up to, everyone that I want to be, it makes me want to be the best I can be.
That's so good, man.
Yeah.
That's so good. And the filter's on Dan.
Yeah.
Because then you'd be teaching the young lads. And then saying,
exactly.
well, I must say, shout out to Sonda, Jai and Sam. Everyone that I have interviewed and spoken to have spoken highly of you. So that is a testament to what you're doing. Anthony, thank you so very much, bro. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure kind of talking to you today.
Yeah.
But it's been really good seeing your journey, man.
Yeah.
And hopefully a little bit being a part of that journey to some stage.
You have.
And I'm really excited to see what is in the future for you, bro.
Let's give them a little rundown of that. What's the story that you have about me?
What's the story? It was the social media. It was when I first met you.
Yeah.
And met you. So,
So
Anthony,
how do we meet?
So Anthony came on a shaving course that I was running in Sydney a couple of years ago, and it was just before you went to Sonda.
Just before.
I was in between, and it was you were a bubbly, friendly guy.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see. I'd seen you already on social media, so it was kind of, for me, I was like, that's that dude from social. He's coming. I was like, I was buzzing to have you.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And then obviously you're training to come and fight me. So we're gonna have to organise a sparring session someday. Exhibition match.
Yeah.
Barber Expo 2026, bro. So
Let's do it.
I was joking. All right. Thank you very much, bro. Good to see you.
Always a
All right.
pleasure. Good to see
Hearts
you
and
guys.
minds. Peace. All right. Awesome, bro.